could stand here today and give you a host of test scores and statistical data or numbers that says charter schools in our city are extremely productive and our children are learning, but that would be the advocate in me. This morning I was asked to come here as a parent, and as a parent in my neighborhood in the South Ward of the city, I was faced with schools, every last school, that was considered Tier 6 schools. This means that the schools in my neighborhood were not only the worst in the city or the worst in the state, but the worst in the nation. That was my choice as a parent. I could either release my baby to go to school every day and fail, which has been historical failure, or I could make a choice to give my child better, and that is what I did. And that is my right as a citizen of Newark and the state of New Jersey and the country of the United States. Because in my neighborhood, the real fact is 105 Hispanic and African American children were murdered. Those are children who were released from failing schools for the past 50 years, and they had no choices, and they had no options because they were not educated. That is my story. That story is not a difficult story. That is the nation's story in any urban area in the United States of America, and we must stand as a community to change that. I stand here because some who say we who fight for quality education in our city are too emotional, and we take this very personal. I take historically failing schools in my neighborhood extremely personal. I take billions of dollars being spent on a failing school system very personal. I worked for the Newark Public Schools for 17 years, so I know the intricate details of how people could walk around a building and fail children and make loads and loads of money and no one cared. I take that very personal. We should all take that extremely personal. We who fight for choice in schools, we fight because Black and brown children are not inferior and have the capacity to learn and are due that right as citizens of this America to learn, not by how much money I make or where my house sits or my zip code. They are due that because they are children in our country, and we owe that to them.
So
we understand also in Newark that only education can cure the ills that we face in our city. Crime, murder, death, drugs, our children being, their bloodshed is shed on our streets every day. Bullets outside my window. Education can cure that, and only education can cure that. Our children deserve equal and quality education. We do not accept failure in Newark, and we will not allow our children to receive anything other than what is best for our children. So we come here today asking anyone who stands here to fight beside us, to never leave us. Those who are adversarial to our fight continue to talk of the phantom white hedge funder who's backing children, and I am a robot to them. Let me say that I wouldn't care if a green alien on a spaceship came down and stood in front of my child. As long as my child was learning, I say, send them all down. I do not care who is backing financially my baby's education. If they have the wherewithal to do so, I want them to continue to send that money. We do not care about budget lines. We do not care about pupil per capita. We care about America allowing our children to fail for 50 years and no one having the courage to stand up and do different. There's organizations now in our city, the Parent Coalition for Excellent Education, BAYO, who has been fighting alongside of us. And we have that right. We fight for choice as parents because we want the longevity of these schools in our city to continue. And we believe that if a school should fail, it should be closed, be it charter or traditional. Our children are failing, close them down. We fight because we know it's inhumane to do anything else but to educate children, no matter what their zip code or their socioeconomics. We fight every day, and we have no intention of doing anything else. We recently celebrated Martin Luther King's birthday, and my daughter at Thrive Academy sat in the morning and she was practicing, and she looked up at me and she said, "Mommy, let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you, my friends, and even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. Self-analysis is needed for anyone who would fight against my choice that is not a manifestation of that dream. To be faced and forced to fight for quality education for children is not, will not, and will never be a manifestation of that dream. Standing by idle as our babies are released from school buildings, uneducated, without options, and falling into a systemic life of crime, drugs, and death is not, will not, ever be a manifestation of that dream. But I am renewed today with the Spirit to continue to speak my truth, because I know deep within my soul it is the manifestation of that dream, and I am not, and I will not, and I will never be the catalyst for our children's failure. Thank you.